Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fan Frenzy podcast. I'm your host, Chris Borgia, alongside co-host Jake Holdzauer, Ben Lawman, and Gabe Layden. We've had some issues recently, hence the why we haven't been able to record in, obviously, the studio that we were recording in, and just in general. Whoever took our time slot this week, you're actually a horrible
That's
person.
crazy, bro, that you're doing that.
Unbelievable.
I have
Unbelievable.
an idea too. I think it might be my guy Troy because he said he's gonna start using the studio. So if
Oh,
it's you,
God.
Troy, I'm coming for you, bro.
Yeah, go for Troy. Go for Troy.
4-on-4 MMA match for the studio. That's what
Yeah.
I
Per
said.
usual, I'll give a quick news segment like how we usually do. As of recency, there was the DeAndre Hopkins trade to the Chiefs, Deontay Johnson traded to the Ravens. Stephon Diggs is done for the year. That really hurts. Christian Darrisaw is also done for the year. Hawkinson's supposed to be coming back this week. Same with Thielen in the next 2 weeks. Anthony Richardson was benched, which is kind of
Yeah.
crazy. And
Is it?
Ilya Taporia is the first guy to knock out Max Holloway.
Don't even bring that up, bro.
Yeah.
Don't even bring that
I got-
up. I don't want
It,
to
got
hear
it
two
it.
hurt
more,
me a
man.
little bit.
Chris, I got two more. Christian McCaffrey is set to return in 2 weeks, hopefully.
I don't know if that'll happen,
He's
but
set to practice during the bye week, and then or he's open to it. And then Cam Robinson from the Jags just got traded to the Vikings.
I have to go in. You know what? While we weren't recording too, there was all the other big injuries too of Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, etc. So it's been a rough week of football or weeks of football for a good amount of the players, including Tyreek Stevenson. He's having a rough day. If you know, you know. I want to ask one quick question though. I want everybody to give me one player that they think is going to get traded before the trade deadline for football. Don't even give an explanation. Just give one reason why. Or just give me one player, I mean.
I'll go first. Azeez Ojulari.
Okay.
That was mine. That was gonna be mine. I thought
Really?
that was like niche. Yeah,
You don't
because I want the Eagles. That's who I want the Eagles to get.
All right,
no.
Ben.
I'm not trading
Ben.
you division, but I'm gonna give you both.
I'm gonna go with Zadarius Smith, another pass rusher.
Okay, Gabe.
You know what? The Buccaneers like our receivers clearly, so they're gonna take Darius Slayton from us, aka Big Play Slay. They need a receiver right now.
I like it.
This is my pick, fellas.
You know, shot.
Miles Garrett or Max Crosby. One of the two is on the move to the
Where?
Eagles.
To
To
where?
the Eagles?
The
Oh,
Eagles.
like why?
They can't afford them, bro.
The Eagles always, think about it this way, the Eagles have always picked up somebody crazy at the trade
Miles
deadline
Garrett
the past
is
few
going to
years.
be worth.
The past few years, the Eagles have always picked up somebody big.
Okay, here's this.
Between
Here's this.
Byard, Swift, etc.
Brian Burns, when he almost got traded to the Rams, they offered him what, 3 first-round picks or 2 first-round picks?
3.
I think it was 3. So if Miles Garrett's way better than Brian Burns, which is a fact, he is at least worth 3 first-round picks minimum.
Yeah, but it's Harry Roseman, so the Eagles will wind up giving up a first and a third and like a sixth and getting him.
Crazy. I don't think they do it. I literally don't think they do
That'd
it. They
be
already traded
scary.
Amari Cooper. They're done.
Max Crosby or Miles Garrett, one of the two. Moving on. Guys, you know how it is. Player of the week. Player of the week. I think Gabe's this week's Ilya Taporia, and looks like Ben's hands raised. So we're gonna throw it to Ben.
I got a nice one that I feel like is. I did my research on this, and it's a little
Okay.
unexpected. But right now, my most underrated player to open the NBA season. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the NBA in a little bit, but my player of the week is Ivan Zubats. This guy is having a really, really underrated start to the season. Obviously, James Harden's been
He's good.
cooking. James Harden's averaging 25 and
Zubac.
12. 25 points and 12 assists for James Harden. Kind of crazy. But Ivan Zubats, 23 points, 14 rebounds, 4.5 assists a game. And on top of that, a block and a steal and only 3 turnovers a game. Like, he's been really, really solid to start this season. And the Clippers in general, they're 2-1. It's very, very early. But
Mhm.
Ivan Zubats leads the league in rebounds so far. He's shooting 60% from the field. And, I've always seen Zubats as a solid, NBA center, very average, kind of the definition of an average NBA center. But this year, with the absence of Paul George, obviously they traded Paul George. They need somebody to step up. Kawhi Leonard is not playing right now. So they need somebody to fill some of those points. And Ivan Zubats has done that so far.
Good.
early on in the season.
Can I
And
just
they
say,
faced
when you have
some good competition too. They faced Phoenix, they faced Denver. Ivan Zubats had 15 rebounds against Denver and 18 rebounds against the Warriors, although the Warriors have some other horrible issues going on, which we can talk about later. But he's been really impressive to me, and that's a big cornerstone piece for the Clippers moving forward. And
Mm.
I think it's nice to acknowledge guys when they're playing well to start the season.
I'm gonna say is whenever you have James Harden on your team, obviously it doesn't help directly with rebounding, but the pocket
He
passing
can
from
make the
James Harden is
players better
unbelievable.
around him.
James Harden is unbelievable at making players better around him, like Chris said. Look, he gave Clint Capella a career, basically. Like, he made Clint Capella who he is today, if you think about that. And he did the same, like, when we had DeAndre Jordan, he made him look, like, somewhat decent, which
You
is
could
hard
say
to
the
do.
same thing though about PJ Tucker, Daniel House, Eric Gordon. Like he
He
made
makes
those
them,
guys.
especially the bigs that stay in
That's
the paint,
why-
he makes them look good.
Gabe, that's why him and CP3 didn't work because it was just two guys passing each other the ball back and
Yeah,
forth.
I didn't like that. James Harden needs to have the ball in his
I
hands
wanted
if he
that
wanna
team to
produce.
win so bad. I wanted that team to win.
They really
so
should
bad. They were
have.
a great spot.
If they didn't have that injury, they probably would have made the finals, and who knows who would have.
I don't think anybody like even if they're down 3-2, I don't think anybody gets past Stephen Curry. He's too good of a player. I don't think he lets that happen. He's making it to the finals every single year during that stretch.
True.
More than
That's
likely.
what I take.
I guess if anyone wants a spotlight next for Player of the Week, they got it.
I gotta go one.
All right, go for it.
All right. I think Ben probably has an idea, maybe. I'm wearing a United jersey right now. We just beat Leicester City like 5-2. The offense was flowing, but it wasn't under Erik ten Hag because he's gone. We had one of the worst coaches in club soccer. He's finally out. He spent basically his entire 2.5 seasons or whatever it was at United saying we've been riddled by injuries, and we also look. I already won two trophies, right? Those two trophies are the EFL trophy and the Carabao Cup, which don't represent how your season goes at all. He's had two of the worst seasons in United history if you count this year, and he just wasn't good for the club. He started buying. He paid $90 million for Anthony, bro. Like he's making all these mistakes with buying the wrong players. It just didn't work out. I think he's a solid coach at a different level. He just couldn't do it with a top Premier League team or just a top team in general. He did well with Ajax. I think he should go down to that kind of level where you're the top of like a lower league maybe. So good riddance to Erik ten Hag. They're saying that we might look at what's his name?
Well, you guys are basically hot. You guys have basically hired Ruben Amorim already. Like he's basically confirmed.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't know much about him, but yeah. I also want to see we have Van Nistelrooy right now, which I think it'll be interesting to see how he's going. He's
Ruben Van Nistelrooy was really good with PSV also in the Dutch league. So I don't know how you want to feel about that.
A shot. We're looking at the Lisbon coach though.
Portugal. I think my opinion on Erik ten Hag is he's just really bad, and this is one of the most underrated parts of being a manager at a top level is managing egos. He was so bad at it. He was so bad with the press, and I think that kind of rubbed off on the players. And he also was just not a good communicator from what I've read about the locker room is just didn't have good communication, and that's I mean, in any sport, that's really important for the coach to be able to communicate with the players. So, I think that was a big issue. And fun fact, Gabe, you'll like this one. Jared Bowen, who is West Ham star player, the team that United played before they fired their manager, he's been on West Ham for however many years. He's seen 4 managers fired immediately after playing him. 4.
Oh.
That's that's a crazy statistic.
I'm big on Jared Bowen. I think there was a
nuts.
rumor that we were going to look at him, and I would really like him as a right winger for us.
I think he could stay at our club. I know he's a really good player, but he really loves the club. So
you guys got a gem in Jared.
Before
Man United.
Before me and Jake goes, I just wanted to say rest in peace, Holden Trent, the backup goalie for the Union. If you didn't know, he died at 25 years old. So rest in peace to him. Jake, are you going or am I going?
I can go because I think you're gonna have a fun answer. Also, rest in peace, Fernando Valenzuela.
Yes, that too.
And
He was a
Mania.
beast.
Yeah, Fernando Mania will ever live in our hearts. But so my player of the week is similar to Ben's, is that it involves the Clippers. Uh, I'm going with their owner, Steve Ballmer. He is the first ever owner that I've ever seen like actually sit in the crowd and like cheer for his team. And he was going crazy. He built that new wall in their new stadium, and it worked. Kevin Durant missed his free throw because of it. So the fact that like you can just see how much an owner, because like the Clippers like are always outshadowed by the Lakers, but like you can clearly
100%.
see Steve Ballmer cares so much, and it's just nice to finally see an owner that wants to win and wants to be a part of the fan base, because most owners just sit in their office and just like.
You want to know what I'll tell you? If he wanted to win, he would have changed that logo that they decided to use now.
Well, he wants to
don't mind
separate
it.
from. I think
I
he
don't
wants to
like that. I don't like their past logo. Their logos have never really been good in my eyes.
He's trying something different. You can obviously tell he wants to really separate from the Lakers, and I think he's finally doing that. And I think the Clippers, even though
Alright.
their team I don't think is championship worthy this year, I think eventually, because of how much Steve Ballmer cares, they'll get one in the next like 10 years probably.
It's possible, but they're a long way, especially with no draft picks.
Yeah, they're gonna have
They're
to
a
have
long
an
way.
entirely different core of their roster.
I think it might
feel like.
it might start by trading Kawhi if anybody would want.
I think you trade
If you
Kawhi
trade
and
Kawhi and James Harden, you could probably
I think
still
you
get
trade-
a decent amount for him. Or
I
maybe
think
not
you
James
trade
Harden, but
away
Kawhi.
both of them. You see the value on other guys that you have like Bones Highland and stuff, and you work with. I think the only guy you keep is Zubac at the moment.
Yeah, I think you got to really completely tear down this team and rebuild. And there really isn't a young enough player. Like, I know you said Bones Highland, but he isn't like a guy you can build around. They need to draft heavy.
That's what I
over the
mean.
years and get
100%.
someone that they can build around.
So everybody knows I am infamous for picking players that I meet in real life for my player of the week. I met an absolute stud Monday night that I am picking. He
One of the best rookies in
currently
the NFL.
plays. Yeah, actually, one of the best rookies in the NFL. He plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, obviously. And I made sure this time that I didn't have to get up mid-episode. I made sure I grabbed my signature to show it off. I picked none other than Cooper DeJean.
nice save.
Yeah.
First of all, walking in the Chickies and Pete's wearing a Cooper Sharp shirt is 10 times fire. Like that's beyond the level. If you know what Cooper Sharp is, you know. So that was a classic. Really great guy, by the way. And it's just kind of crazy that like I was fanboying over a dude who's literally my age. I think it's nuts. It's nuts
It's
to just
crazy
sit there
now.
and be like, he's
I'm
literally
like a day
21.
older than Malik Neighbors. It's disgusting, honestly.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Gabe, why
That's what
aren't
I
you
mean.
making
You
that
sit there and you're like, what? Like, am I that old? What? Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't make any
Eventually,
sense.
wait for us to start seeing players that were born after like
06,
after we
07.
graduated college. Like imagine that in like 20 years. That's crazy.
We're gonna start calling them kids, like all those older guys do.
Man,
That's what's gonna
no. Yeah, no, I love Cooper DeJean, though. That's my guy. I wish that they recorded my reaction to the Eagles drafting him, because I was sitting at my boy's 21st party. I'm not kidding. We were sitting at a table and just hanging out. And I literally had the draft on my phone, and I saw the Eagles straight up. I said, Cooper, 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 Cooper. I screamed so loud the second they drafted him.
Well,
I'm
the
a big
crazy
Cooper
thing is,
DeJean
too,
guy.
I don't think Jake was on the pod yet, but when we were making that draft, like when we were doing the mock draft, I feel like both of you guys were kind of torn between Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. And
Mhm.
then
fact-
that happened.
the fact that
See,
you guys got
my
Right,
thing
right.
is, if you know me well, I really like the Rams as like another football team. I really like the Rams. So when I made an article on our website, I put the Rams to draft Cooper DeJean, because I would have been like, okay, he got drafted to a cool team that I like.
the fact
Um,
that you guys got both corners. I thought it was going to be one or the other, but you got both. That's
I
crazy.
love both of them. That aside, though, moving on, I wanted to give a quick update on fantasy football, because we haven't really. So Gabe's currently, I'm only talking about the four of us though, not the other people that are in it. But Gabe's currently number 1 in the league at 6-2. Jake is second out of the four of us with
Oh, wait.
4-4, and
By
then
the
me and
way-
Ben are tied at 3-5.
By the way, Chris, I don't know if you remember us talking about it earlier. I started out 4-0. I'm currently on a 4-week losing streak.
All right, now let me
It's about
hit
to be
you with a
5.
question. Would you rather be on a 4-game losing streak, or would you rather lose to the kid who had no wins?
I'd rather be on a 4-game losing streak.
Yeah, exactly, because I lost to the kid who had no wins.
Patty,
I
you
lost
lost
to
to
the
Patty?
kid. Yes, I lost to Patty. He had no wins, and I
Oh my
lost
god! And now
by
it's me
20
versus.
points.
Whoa, Ben, we're facing off.
Yeah, I've had a
Dana
rough year in
Daniels got
fantasy
hurt
in
that week. Stephon Diggs
general.
did nothing that week. Kelsey did nothing.
I put up
Montgomery,
like
my whole
150, I
team was like
think.
bad that week.
I
I
just
think
need
Moving
Jonathan
on.
Taylor to play. Jonathan Taylor's been hurt.
To move into our first segment, we're doing a little bit of a hockey and basketball open up since the season started. So which one do you guys want to start with, basketball or hockey?
Let's get hockey out of the way.
Yeah, let's do hockey. Let's talk
All
about
right,
hockey in the
all right, all right. I've
Metro
been
Division.
missing.
real quick.
I've been missing a hockey talk. So obviously, the Flyers have been looking pretty good so far. I mean, they just beat Boston in their house for the first time in 20 years.
Whoa.
So I think it's a big deal, especially since the sole factor that it was a shutout. I think it's an even bigger
First
deal.
shutout in Boston since 2006, by the way, for the Flyers.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. I think a
Chris,
lot that I've learned. What?
How's the Flyer Barstool account going?
I've been enjoying it. Go look out at that Instagram account, Flyers Barstool. I've been running it and uploading a bunch on there. Each game I've been
Didn't even know that
making a
was you. I
post.
saw that account in my recommended, and I had no
It's me.
idea
Yeah,
that
I
was
had
you.
no
It's
idea
me.
that you ran that because I think I
Um,
don't know who sent. I saw something from it for sure.
It's because
I had no
I'm a
idea.
big Flyers guy. From what I've seen so far, so I'll put it to you this way: I missed one Flyers game so far in the season, and it's because I was at the Sixers home opener. That aside, the Flyers have looked pretty good, like I've stated. Their power play is a little iffy. For some reason, we look worse when we have more guys compared to the opposing team. I don't totally understand that. You're up a guy for a reason. You should be playing better. My takeaways though, I think Mitchkov going forward, Mitchkov looks like he's going to be 100-point per game scorer for the next decade, or 100-point season. I mean, for the next decade. So he looks unbelievable. I think
Does he have
Igor
goals yet?
Zamula. What?
Does he have any goals yet, Mitchkov?
Yes, he has 4. I think.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Igor Zamula should never touch the ice again in a Flyers uniform. I'll definitely throw that out there. Same goes to Ivan Fedotov. If either of you have a problem with that, you can go speak to Keith Jones, and I think he would tell you that you're not touching the ice. Other than that, I mean, I like what I see. Emil Andre looks good. I think the Flyers should trade for a backup goalie, but I don't think they will because I think they like what they've seen from Kolosov so far. But if he doesn't pan out, I mean, then you're really breaking loose because I don't think you could run Sammy Erson into the ground 3 times a week. You know, he gets tired after a while. That's what happens with goalies. You don't want to run them into the ground because then they're just going to go on a big losing streak. Other than that, I mean, you know, some of the other hockey teams have looked pretty good. And one of my big things here, though, is the Flyers beat the Minnesota Wild, who were on an insane hot streak, if you didn't know. They were going off. And the Flyers, I said, were probably going to lose that game. And they definitely shocked me on that. Does anybody have a team that they're kind of just like they should be doing better, but they're kind of at the bottom of the barrel?
I mean, I had a team that I was going to talk about that's doing way better than I thought they were.
I had not a team for me, but a position wise. The Devils are looking solid, but the goals against is not. I got some advice from the 2 hockey guys on this team that goaltending was going to be much better this year, and it's not worrisome yet, just because we still are at the top of the division. It's just, I mean, it's not going to be able to sustain that.
Yeah, I mean, I think just
tough.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. It's early in the year, but I think your defensemen haven't been very good at all from the games that I've watched of the Devils.
Not really.
I think
Not
you guys
really.
will be fine because your offense is there. You can see the elite level offense that was expected.
Luke Hughes, Jack Hughes.
And I still think that team's going to make the playoffs.
They're a big
I mean,
deal.
they're first
Well,
in the
I mean, I
Metro
think
right
we
now.
should if we're at the top of the division, even 12 games in. But
Yeah. I think the team that's been the biggest surprise for me personally.
Winnipeg?
Yes. It is Winnipeg. They're 8-1, 16 points through 9 games. I think you look at them and everybody was like, okay, they're probably going to be like a bubble playoff team, and they've been the best team in the league so
They've been
far.
fire.
And it's been really impressive to watch. Obviously, a lot of us here on the East Coast don't get a lot of Winnipeg games, but
True.
man, oh man, is Kyle Connor good. He's such a good player.
Kyle Connor's unbelievable. That dude's disgusting.
And Connor Hellebuyck is the best goalie in the league, like hands down. I
agree with that. I agree with that. I'll also say too, someone who's also been really exciting to watch has been the Utah Hockey Club with Clayton Keller and Dylan Gunther.
I love.
They've been nuts.
I got a team that is disappointing so far. What happened to the Western Conference champs? What are the Oilers doing?
They just had a rough start to the season.
They always start off bad. I don't know what it is about
I
that
said
team.
this too, though. I said they should have another loss being against the Flyers, but they only beat the Flyers because McDavid had a breakaway, took a shot on the net, Ersson blocks it, and then off the rebound, Draisaitl's directly in front of the net with nobody else there to stop him. So they got lucky on that win.
Yeah.
So they usually do start off bad though, but they're starting to catch up a little bit. I think if anybody is looking bad that we should like kind of rip into a little bit is Nashville. Because Nashville really went out there, signed all these guys, and like what is going on? Like you just blew your whole payroll for these guys and they're not clicking.
I don't want to be a hater, but I kind of expected it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But why? Because they signed great players. Marchessault's a great player. Steven Stamkos is the greatest captain in Tampa history and was unbelievable for them.
Think of it this way. So I think this could be a transition to NBA, but we can stick on NHL for a little bit longer. When you bring in a lot of good players to a team, especially a team like hockey or even basketball, there needs to be good chemistry either on the court or on the ice. So when you bring in a lot of new people and they really haven't played together, then they're going to struggle with that chemistry. They're going to lose their first couple games.
I'll give a quick shout out to Forsberg, though, because he's still been cooking.
Yeah, Forsberg's good. I just think Marchessault was never – obviously he's been really good. I just don't think he ever had to be a top-line guy. He was usually a second-line type of player, and now he's a top-line guy. Steven Stamkos is kind of on the – Steven Stamkos is the legend of the game, but he's kind of on the downturn. Like, you can see it.
It sucks to say that.
Yeah,
I've always liked the Stamkos.
Yeah.
To give a quick thing, and then we'll move into the NBA because of timing. Mick Ilrath, I'm giving a quick shout out to you. Thank you for beating up on Rempe, Jake's favorite Rangers player. I appreciate you beating up on Rempe because Rempe likes to pick on guys 10 times his size. And then when he fights somebody his size, he gets beat. It tends to happen. You should just send him down to the minors so nobody has to sue him.
I mean,
make hockey better.
I literally think Rempe's only there to make fights. So
that's all he's there for. I mean, let him move him down to the minors, dude. Nobody wants to deal with this guy anymore.
He can beat people up.
Okay, moving on into basketball. How are we feeling, guys?
Confused
so far.
Confused.
Yeah. Speaking for my personal team, I really do not like what I've seen so far, and I'm expecting that record. I'm just
I get where you're coming from, but can we take one guy off that list at least? Can we take Cam Thomas off that list? He's been cooking.
I think he's okay. I think that he's a one-trick pony or whatever it's called.
All
he does is that stupid
he's getting 20 points a game.
But let me tell you what we're losing with Cam Thomas scoring 30 a game, right? You're losing. So you have Dennis Schroeder and Cam Thomas, who are the two best players on the team by far, right? But now we have these two young stars in Dariq Whitehead and Jalen Wilson. They're just not playing because of that. They're not getting PT. Cam Thomas is playing 36 minutes a game, and Dennis Schroeder also 36 minutes a game.
Cam Thomas is averaging 29.5 points right now, though.
Ben Simmons is such a funny stat line, bro. Ben Simmons' average are so funny. He's averaging 5 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal.
He has more fouls on the season than attempted shots, I believe, or attempted field goals.
He's just bad.
Ben Simmons is out of the picture, right? He's not going to be on the team if we win the championship 10 years down the line. He's not on that team, right? I'm focusing on what are you building around. We have Dariq Whitehead and Jalen Wilson. Jalen Wilson is like a 24-year-old championship-winning team in college right? He's the leader of that team. Why is he not playing basketball? I don't understand. I understand Cam Thomas
Fair.
is the star of the team. He's the best player on the team, whatever you want to say. Him and Dariq Whitehead, Jillian Wilson and Dariq Whitehead should be starting because what do you have to lose? You're not making the playoffs. You're not making the play-in. Give your young guys some time to play. Cam Thomas, we know he can score. That's
I
great,
think right
but move
now,
on.
Gabe, I think right now, since the beginning of the season, you're just gonna play your best players to see if you can try to win, and then if you don't, towards like halfway
Yeah,
through.
Dennis Schroeder's
I
not
get
going to
that.
be. If Dennis Schroeder is on your team to end the season, I'd be incredibly surprised.
I'd be
would
surprised
also,
as
but
well.
he
You guys
he
are
does
going to get a
wanna
lot
still-
for him too at the trade
I
deadline.
think I see Dennis Schroeder as the sixth man to end the year, and I also kind of want to move Cam Thomas because I don't know what his value is, but I have to imagine it's pretty high, and I think we can
Dennis-
get a
I
lot
would
for him.
keep-
And
I
then
would
we
keep
build around
him
Dariq
in-
Whitehead,
Take
Jalen
your
Wilson, whoever
timeline
we
though.
get.
That's the issue.
I would keep him and Claxton if anything.
Claxton is a must keep. That is,
And
there's
Cam
no doubt.
Johnson.
He's coming off the bench though, Nick Clax.
Who's starting
It's
over?
starting Day'Ron Sharp.
No, they're starting Ben Simmons at center. I love
Oh, I
Day'Ron
don't like
Sharp
that.
too.
I don't like
Yeah,
that.
I'm not a fan of it either.
They're
I
trying to.
trust in
They're
the
trying
Jordy
to get.
Fernandez process, but I just don't like what I've been seeing out of the starting five, and
You
it
know-
makes the basketball game like boring to watch when I'm seeing the same five guys that I know aren't going to produce
You
wins.
want to know
on
what
the-
I'll tell you? You know what I don't like to see?
What?
I don't like to see this draft class that just like came upon because
We all knew this draft class was horrible.
Shea
We all knew it was
stinks.
horrible.
Alexander Sarr stinks. And the funny thing is Valanciunas a nobody now? Why is he coming off the bench for the Wizards
But I
instead
don't
of?
understand. Like, I don't understand how Valanciunas fell off this hard. I just don't. I thought he was
He
good.
never fell off. Nobody just knows how to play him. Like why would he not start on the Wizards when the Wizards are obviously trash? He averaged great numbers in Memphis and great numbers in New Orleans.
I have no clue, but I mean,
It don't make any
moving
sense.
on
He was averaging a double-double.
Moving on to a team that is good. The Cavs are 4-0.
Oh,
That's-
I'm glad you brought them up. Who'd they
Oh.
play in their last game?
Yeah, here's what I'll say.
No.
Before-
Just answer that question real quick.
It
Who'd they
was-
play in their
It
last
was
game?
the Knicks. It was the Knicks. But Gabe, I got a question. Gabe, I got a question. You know,
Okay.
he had 2 good games back to back. Why did Mikal Bridges change his jump shot? Like,
I
just
really
trying to-
hate that. There's nothing more that I hate in the
Yeah.
NBA than changing people's jump shots.
Because
Did it?
Gabe,
Obviously,
Gabe,
it didn't Markel Fultz in the
yeah,
past. Now this year,
yeah.
Chet Holmgren and Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges was a sniper from the corner.
dude,
And what's he doing
38%.
now?
I'm
He
gonna
was a
tell you this right now. You better
Oh my God.
pray, Jake. You better pray that McBride can get you 10 every game off the bench because if not, you guys are cooked.
He could be
I
their
would
Peyton
say-
Pritchard. He
I
could
know it's
definitely be their Peyton
early.
Pritchard.
I know it's really early, but I feel like I've been completely correct on my take that
Cat
That,
wouldn't fit.
yeah, he just doesn't
What?
fit. You can see it. He does not fit the team at all.
No.
And
Who?
But
your
Yeah,
rebounding
wait,
is worse.
Wait, you
It's
know what? I'm
worse
gonna
than
bring up
worse.
a really
Yes,
good point. I'm gonna
but
bring up a
Mitchell
really good
Robinson-
point on that.
Hold on, Chris, wait. Mitchell Robinson's gonna come back.
Here we
He's
go.
hurt, so he's gonna play Cat at the 4 when Mitchell Robinson comes back.
But then he's
And,
going to get
like I
hurt
was saying
again.
in
He gets
hockey,
hurt every
like-
year.
Like I was saying in hockey, the chemistry is not there right now. Just wait for them to build, and then they're guaranteed to be a playoff team. It just
This
depends
is
on
a
gonna-
championship
Hey,
roster. It's
hey,
just if they can do it with.
I'm gonna
Kevin
bring
Hey,
up
with
Durant.
the
two
play,
things.
they could be a playing team for all you know. I mean, for some reason, Atlanta is 2-2 right now.
I like
Why?
what
I
see.
don't know,
I'll
but-
throw
It's
this out there
early.
too.
There's 82 games in the year.
Yeah.
I think it's way too early to be making these assumptions, especially about the Knicks, who just completely changed their roster from last year.
Also, side note, Trae Young looks. I don't know if I like this look better or worse for Trae Young, but he always has a style change every year.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought you were going for. Yeah.
and it's interesting. I think he went to Turkey over the offseason, perchance.
I'm
but-
gonna throw this out there real quick, and then you'll see what I'm gonna do here. Obviously, Jake, I'm gonna hit you with this first. You saw Karl Anthony Towns watching the Timberwolves at a concert. He misses his team. He doesn't want to be in New York.
Yeah, he wasn't
Um,
expecting to get traded. I don't think anyone was expecting them to trade him.
Nobody
Anybody.
was.
That
I don't know why,
aside,
right?
I like what I've seen from the Sixers. They look pretty good. Maxey looks unbelievable per usual.
What?
Yeah, Maxey's a good scorer.
What are
when he
you
doesn't-
talking about? Dude,
Ben-
Maxey's been
Ben,
so incredibly inefficient.
that's
He's
a-
been like,
Ben, he just
Well,
had
he's your only
45
player right
points, bro.
dude, Maxey's shooting 35%
without
from the field
Maxey,
and
this
23
Ben, do you
team's
think
gonna lose,
Tyrese
but
Maxey is
Without
your
Maxey,
version of
this
Cam
team
Thomas?
loses by 30.
Well, yes, I get it, but you can't say he's been awesome. He's just been doing what he's been he just can't handle the volume.
He's shooting 23% from three.
Listen,
dude,
we
I
are
just said
3
that.
games
This
into
just
the
proves to me
year.
he can't be a number one. That's what it proves to me.
Well, you guys also don't have anyone
Yeah,
else helping him right
He
now.
can be. He can be a number one. You'll see. You'll see. Just wait till Paul George and Embiid come back. The Sixers will be good. You'll see.
Well,
Moving
no,
on.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he just hasn't been as good as your one guy that has been good. That I don't know why you didn't point out. Kelly Oubre, averaging 21 points a game.
Of course.
Although
I love
our
Oubre.
3-point
That's
shooting has
obvious.
been really bad.
I
from
think
our role players,
McCain
which is
needs more
kinda scary.
minutes too. McCain needs more minutes. He's been good.
Yabusele has been awesome, by the way. I don't know.
Oh, he's been amazing. Yabusele.
I really hope this is our year because the Yabusele is like the perfect guy that we needed on this team for years.
I agree.
But
I actually am gonna open up into our next segment, our baseball World Series segment and stuff, with a cryptic photo that I actually saved because there's something that I wanted to speak on real quick. I've heard many different opinions on it. I know me and Jake talked about it a little bit today. Ben and Gabe, I haven't heard your opinions on it yet. The Mookie Betts situation in this past game, where a fan basically ripped the ball out of his glove. While, let me throw this out there, Mookie Betts is not a tall guy whatsoever, so his arm is holding up his body weight because he's not tall enough to stand from where he was, while they're literally grabbing him and ripping the ball out of his hands to act like it wasn't caught. And then the ref said, or the ump said it was fan interference out. What are both of your opinions on that? And I'm going to show you something.
Can I give my casual opinion before Ben goes to his kind of more baseball expert opinion?
Here's
what I think, right? First off, injuries are never good, and you don't want them to be caused by something that just doesn't need to happen. I think the fan trying to basically rip his glove off was just unacceptable and not okay. However,
I agree.
I think the idea that you can take back an out by ripping the ball out of a player's glove, as long as it doesn't harm the player or anybody else, I think that's really fun. And it's almost like fighting in hockey in some sort of a sense, right? It has very little, it does have to do with the actual play of the game, but the fact that fan interference can be allowed, I think that's really fun. But I'm just not for it at all, obviously, in that exact situation where he's trying to rip off his glove and could cause a bunch of different injuries. That's my take.
Before I give my opinion, do you guys believe that Pat McAfee was actually friends with that guy in college? I don't know if you saw that clip.
So was Gronk. So was Gronk.
Or no, it was Gronk. Sorry, not Pat McAfee. You're right. It was Gronk. Gronk said he was friends with that guy in college. Do I believe that? I'm not really sure because it's Gronk saying it. But if it's true, that's hilarious. Sorry. Again, yes, it was Gronk. It was not Pat McAfee.
Give your opinion real quick so that we could delve into the series.
I think it was awful. They should be banned for life from all baseball games. And on top of that, if it was Phillies fans,
we'd be getting destroyed.
This would be being talked about on ABC, NBC, CBS. It would be a national news story.
Yeah, because they'd be trying to injure him.
You can't tell me
the Yankees fans just tried to
one
do
hand in the other, going for his head.
Phillies fans would never do that.
Jake said it better than I.
Would never do that.
Before Jake even gets to talk, I stated earlier on an Instagram post that his wrist could have easily been broken and that this was way out of proportion. And a lot of Yankees fans at me back saying, cry, etc., etc. He should have gotten his wrist broken, blah, blah, blah. And,
that's crazy.
I'm going to say this too. First off, I agree with Ben. They should be banned for life. Second of all, when you basically have other athletes basically talking crap about an issue like this is kind of crazy. And I'm not shocked that of any man that could have opened his mouth, it's the one guy who shouldn't be talking at all. At Josh Hart, you're not cool. Whatsoever. And he wrote, and I quote, "Hell no, we need them for game 5." Bro, you're a literal nobody. Literal nobody. Josh Hart is the last person to say anything on this planet. He's literally Kadarius Toney 2.0.
Oh my God. What?
Tony.
That's insane.
Yes. Josh Hart just yaps. He's just yaps.
What is CJ Gardner Johnson? At least Josh Hart backs
really not bad.
Up. At least
Josh Hart is trash, and he
just
yaps.
CJ Gardner Johnson can get
CJ Gardner Johnson is trash right now. I'll say it right now. He is trash right now.
Flip it.
But Josh Hart's just as trash. Josh Hart is literally Dylan Brooks. They're best friends.
this is okay. Before I don't want to get into
Just shut your mouth for
what you
once.
What I'll say about the Mookie Betts situation is yes, those two guys should be banned because they went the extra mile. The one guy that grabbed onto Mookie's wrist should have never did that. Here's the thing: when diving
You don't
into
touch
the
a player.
stands, exactly. When diving into a stands, there's a difference between the player having to like jump on you or touch you, and you like grabbing them or doing like patting them on the back. That's different. If you're forcefully trying to rip the guy's arm off, that we can't have that because the part of which he was trying to rip his arm, his wrist was still in the field. It wasn't out of play. It was his glove that was out of play. So to the guy that grabbed his wrist, you deserve to be banned, buddy. You are a Yankees fan, but you deserve not to be back because that's dangerous. You shouldn't be able to do that. You should have just let go. You should have not held on. The guy that was trying to smack the ball out of his hand on the other hand, I guess, he still deserves to get banned because he was doing too much. But all I'll say is technically, when a ball is hit out of play, the fans are allowed to go for the ball and they are allowed to knock it out of a player's glove. But when Mookie Betts clearly has possession and he's about to bring the glove back into play, there comes a point where he was grabbing onto the glove and he was trying to get it out. There comes a point where after you grab the glove and go for it once, you step back. That's all you got to do. That's all you got. You're allowed to go for the ball, but as soon as you realize the player's got it, just step back, okay? I know you're trying to help the team. I know you want the ball. That, of course, everybody wants the ball. But at the same time, it is a World Series ball, but you don't want to do what just happened, which is get
You don't
banned
want to
from it.
lose your spot in the stadium.
And that too. You paid $1,000 for what? Now you have to watch it from home, buddy. $1,000 to
Probably
watch
was
it.
1,000 if he's that close to the field.
And honestly, he probably watched it from a jail cell. Like that's probably what he did. He probably didn't even get to watch the rest of the game.
Possible.
So, yeah, that's all I'll say about the Mookie Betts situation. It's wrong. And I think those guys definitely, I mean, maybe they like get a video from him saying like, yeah, like go Yankees, but that's about it. Cause those guys aren't good people if they're trying to fight with Mookie Betts.
I agree with that. Moving into the series a little bit, we've seen a lot. One thing I'll definitely say is, Jake, I'm kind of mad at your Yankees for not just getting swept because of the sole factor that my favorite professor, who's a diehard Dodgers fan, said, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the game," and they lost because of Opie.
I need him to go to every game now. I need him to go to every single
If you're
game.
curious, too, that was Claire Smith. So,
well, she likes both teams though. She covered both teams.
Yeah, but she's a diehard Dodgers fan. Dodgers over everything. So I'm mad at you guys for doing that to her. She's a great person. She literally did not show up to my class and called up the TA and said, "I'm not coming. I'm going to the game," which was hilarious, by the way.
She has
That
the right
aside,
to do that.
though,
She has the right to do that.
She does, 100,000%. That aside, though, Jake's gonna get mad when I say this, but Freddie Freeman, you are unbelievable, man. You are unbelievable. Jake, let me ask you this. Do you wish that way back when his agent said, "Oh, the Braves never contacted us," that like he didn't lie about it and that he went back to the Braves and not the Dodgers?
What do I wish about? What do I wish?
That he stayed with the Braves and didn't go to the Dodgers.
Absolutely, but I also
think
wish
the three of us don't wish that though.
I think the three of us don't want.
I think the Yankees are wishing that they would have gave him a contract because we chose Anthony Rizzo.
Jake, you're seeing what us Phillies fans had to deal with for a decade. Many games this season.
But here's the thing, though.
Just Phillies?
Jake,
no.
Wait, I'm gonna hit Jake with a question since he's the obvious Yankees fan in the room.
Hold on, Chris. Before you ask me the question, I just want to respond to Ben. But the thing is, you just haven't at least he torched pretty much everyone he's ever faced in his career, but also it's like he just broke a record for the most consecutive home runs in World Series history in 6, which means he's hit a home run every single game against the Yankees facing him this year, and that is just unfortunate and sad and not fair.
All right, Jake, let me put it this way before I ask my question. Now you're seeing what we had to see with Mark Vientos. Now you're seeing it. It's one guy who just destroys your whole team.
Yep.
Really not.
Who would have thought
one guy destroyed your whole team?
Who would have thought at the start of the postseason
with
we'd be
that,
comparing
but
Mark
with the exact same thing
Vientos
with
with
the
Freddie Freeman?
To ask you my question though,
Yeah.
Where is Aaron Judge?
He is in Cancun right now, taking a vacation with the Phillies. I mean,
Isn't he your favorite player? Look behind you on the wall.
he's right there. Right there. He is
That's where
right
he is.
there.
He's in that poster.
He's in my
inside that
room right
poster.
now. He's
Yeah.
literally in my room.
Do you at least are you happy with from what you've seen from Volpe and Gleyber Torres as a Yankees fan?
well,
And
here's the thing.
Verdugo.
Verdugo sucked the first 2 games of the series. No, I'm not happy with Verdugo. Here's what I'll say. I'll go on my quick spiel about the Yankees so we don't take up too much time. Basically, Aaron Judge disappeared and he is a choke artist. But he did, I believe.
Your pitching's getting harassed, by the way.
It's not fair because our pitching should be our strength, and their pitching should not be their strength. But here's the thing. John Boy said this, which John Boy reach out to me. I'm still looking for a job.
Jake loves John Boy.
John Boy said this. The Yankees in Game 3 looked at 24 fastballs called strikes, which is the second most in MLB this season, right behind the Nationals, who had 27. Which means there's 24 hittable fastballs, and you just look at it. You don't even swing the bat. You just look at those fastballs, which means you got to swing the bat. Aaron Judge, I believe, got a hit last game, actually, which shows that when he gets a hit, the Yankees actually do good. But it wasn't Aaron Judge that won the game. It was the bottom of the lineup. Anthony Volpe hit the first ever in World Series history, the first ever go-ahead grand slam down by 3-0. Nobody's ever done that before. Austin Wells hit a home run. He should have had 2, but it died out. Verdugo, he hit a home run in Game 3 to make it seem like the Yankees had a good game, but they didn't until the 9th inning.
They lost 4-2, correct?
They lost 4-2, but their only runs came off of Verdugo when it didn't matter.
Yes.
I mean, they still didn't bring in Blake Trinan because it wasn't a save situation. It never was. So it just makes the Yankees look better. Which Verdugo then did good the next game. Gleyber Torres deserves a contract. Juan Soto deserves a contract. Those two.
Juan Soto's going to the Phillies.
Gleyber, no, what? You can't afford him. Gleyber Torres, is potentially giving himself another contract with the Yankees, if not a great contract, like $25 million a year with another team. And he's reached safely, I think, every single game this World Series to lead off.
So then, in your eyes, the people that are rippable is Judge, Stanton.
No, Stanton.
Jazz.
Here's the thing. I'm glad. So the Yankees changed their lineup. Boone changed their lineup and swapped Jazz to bat cleanup and Stanton to bat fifth again, which actually worked because the problem with the Yankees lineup batting Judge and Stanton back to back is if you get Gleyber Torres out, which is possible, he's good leading off. And besides that, he hasn't really been doing anything besides last game when he hit a home run. If you get Gleyber out, you walk Soto. You attack Judge. He gets out because he's going to strike out. He's going to strike out. He's going to strike out. He striked out 40 times already this postseason. And then you pitch around Stanton, and then you bring in a lefty to face Jazz Chisholm. That's how you get out of the top of the lineup. Now doing the righty-lefty thing, if you bring in a lefty to face Jazz, then Stanton gets to face a lefty, which he crushes. So, I mean, will the Yankees pull off the first ever reverse sweep in the World Series to come back and win? Yeah, they will. The only reason
he says that with so much confidence.
The only reason I say they will is just because of why John Boy thinks they will, because they're making a documentary about this season on Apple TV. And what happens when documentaries are being made? Miracles happen. I don't know how. I don't know why. Miracles do happen. So I think if the Yankees
game
can pull off the last game, I think they win tonight because it's Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole can pitch 9 innings if we need him to, and we need him to.
What I'll say to you is,
we'll pitch 8 innings. Weaver will come in the 9th.
I think your big thing here is if Stanton gets going, because you and me both know if Stanton.
He had 2 bad games, and that's it.
No, I mean like tonight. Going forwards, like if he keeps it
honestly,
up.
I don't think if everybody hits like they did hit last night, which was Game 4, we would be fine. It's just the pitching needs to do better, and Shohei Ohtani hasn't been doing anything this series. So if Ohtani can't get going, all we have to do is
Ohtani's gonna get the final out tonight.
If we walk every time he comes up this game, I'm gonna be happy with him because he needs to.
He's gonna heckle at the TV. Last point that I'm gonna state here that will go into our last segment. You and me both know, Jake, if Stanton doesn't get any, like if he doesn't hit a double or a home run or a triple, which he'll never hit a triple. He's not gonna get on base because of just how slow he is.
Oh yeah, I mean they sent him around.
He doesn't even jog
Yo,
on
Luis Rojas,
around the bases. He
oh my God,
walks.
Luis Rojas has to have a helmet on when walking through New York because oh my God, dude, I can't believe you sent the slowest runner in the MLB home when you're up by or when you're down by 2, I believe. Was it down by 2? Down by 1? I forget. They sent Stanton for literally no reason, and Teoscar Hernandez threw out the slowest runner in the league, which everybody was like, "Oh my God, Teoscar's so good." Blah 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 blah. He's just I could have thrown him out.
I'm gonna say this too, and then we'll go into the next segment. Will Smith's got to get it together in terms of stolen bases. Like people are just stealing on him left and right.
They're gonna steal on Wells and Trevino too. So,
well, of course, but all right, moving on.
The first ever Yankee in postseason history to have 5+ RBIs and 2 stolen bases in a game.
Moving on into our last segment, I'll give the quick score rundown of the games, and then everybody can give a quick say, and then we'll go into predictions. So obviously it was week 8 that just passed by. The Rams came back healthy and beat the Vikings 30-20. The Packers somehow had a shootout with the Jacksonville Jaguars and won 30-27. I think Jake has an opinion on that one, which we'll let him get to. The Cardinals had a shootout, winning 28-27 over the Dolphins into his first game back. The Patriots won. A lot of these games were shootouts. I'm going to throw that out there. The Patriots won 25-22 in a shootout. Patriots, I'm mad at you. That was Reddick's first game back. You did him dirty.
Did you do anything?
He had 2 pressures.
Cool. Better than Bryce Huff already, right?
Yeah, I definitely say so. The Browns beat up on the Ravens 29-24. Jameis Winston, Tim. Same with Cedric Tillman. The Eagles won 37-17. The Texans won 23-20 over the Colts. It was another shootout. The Lions absolutely destroyed the Titans 52-14, which I don't know how Amon-Ra only had 2 targets that he caught both. Yeah, but like, why? That's part of the reason why I lost the fantasy in both leagues, because he had 2 targets. The Falcons won 31-26 over Tampa. The Chargers absolutely beat up on the Saints 26-8. The Bills beat up on the Seahawks 31-10. Unfortunately, I picked the Bears this week, not knowing that Jaden Daniels was going to play, and Jaden Daniels obviously came and beat Caleb Williams 18-15.
Well, they should have won. They still should have won.
Tyreek Stevenson, the Chiefs beat the Raiders 27-20. Somehow the Raiders always put up a fight against the Chiefs. The Broncos beat the Panthers 28-14. The Niners beat the Cowboys in a shootout 30-24, and the Steelers beat the Giants 26-18. I'm going to throw one thing out there, too. This was like the first time in 20 years that the Eagles beat Cincy in their house. So It was a big deal. And it was the first time in a while that we had like a decent blowout.
Actually, it was the first time ever we won in Cincinnati.
Oh.
Well, was it ever? I thought it was like 20
it was
years.
the first time ever.
Wow. Did you guys see? Of course you saw. You watched the game. The Bengals uniforms look great, by the way.
They're beautiful.
I love those unis.
They are nice.
They remind me of the Miami Heat whiteout a little bit. I don't know if you guys remember those.
Yeah.
LeBron days.
I do. Does anybody have an opinion on any game before we like move into our predictions and stuff?
Yes,
like any takeaways?
I have one real quick, and I've said this before on the pod, and I'll say it again.
Is it about the Giants?
Yes, whoever our special teams coach is should have been fired 6 weeks ago, now 7 weeks ago. I don't know what happens. Every single time we have
You're
some
on week
sort of
9 now,
field
Gabe.
goal.
Longer than 7 weeks. You're on week 9
reception,
now.
Kick reception, kickoff, any special teams related play always goes horribly. And I don't know why. I'm not really sure what it is. Is it on the coach, on the players? I don't know. It's awful.
Yeah, Gabe, you can testify to this. The Giants' special teams were just like, well, when Joe Judge was here, we had the best special teams in the league. Ever since he left, we had the worst special teams in the league.
Gabe,
but this is like another level of bad.
You know what I'll say to you, Gabe? How does it feel that you lost to Mr. Unlimited?
We love is rad.
You guys really lost to like a 36-year-old.
A whole pack of Badgers. That's like the worst one.
I have one statistic I want to say. I think this is from Bill Calero or Bill on Twitter. Bill
on Twitter.
I can't pronounce his last name. I'm sorry. I love him. Like future coworker. He works at the Fanatic. Anyway, post great statistics. Great follow, by the way, and follow me on Twitter too because I reposted this earlier. But There's two teams in the NFL with a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. Number one is the Houston Texans, and number two is the Philadelphia Eagles. Future Super Bowl matchup? I don't know. But
Defense.
I have an
will say-
article on our
yeah,
website
and
saying that was my Super Bowl matchup
one-
this year.
one key statistic that I added is 38 out of 45 teams that have won the Super Bowl have had a top 10 defense. So that is really crucial. So
Defense
Vic
wins
Fangio
championships.
keeping up with what he's been doing is really crucial.
Yeah, defense
Um,
wins championships, which is why the Giants, with leading the league in sacks, will make it to the
When
Super Bowl.
Kayvon comes back, watch out.
And
Yeah,
when Daniel Jones gets replaced for
And you
Drew
know
Lock.
what? You know what? Let's put Andrew Thomas on defense. Let's make him a DT. Why not?
I mean, he's not
All
playing
right,
anyway.
all
so
right,
it
all
doesn't
right.
matter.
Yeah, when he comes back.
let's get to the good stuff.
Oh
good
my
stuff.
God,
The good
Ben-
stuff?
Jake,
Look at him.
let's not discuss last week.
The good
Look how
stuff?
excited Ben is, bro.
What's the good stuff?
Well, should I do the rundown real quick?
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were
And
about to
once-
bring up how Georgia football plays this week.
No,
Guys, when we were on break, the dogs came in and trashed them Longhorns. We trashed them Longhorns.
Penn State had a comeback win against Wisconsin with their backup
Bro,
quarterback.
I don't care
and I
about
was
Penn State. If
stressed.
they play Georgia in the playoffs,
I
they're
care about
cooked.
Penn State. I want them
How
to
about
lose.
that
So
Temple
Ben has to
defense
buy a
against,
Will Levis jersey.
I
Yes,
want
I
them to
see.
lose too. And guess what? If they go into the playoffs against Georgia, they're losing. I think we
Yeah,
should have a
once
bet
they
on
get into the
that.
playoffs, whatever. But they're
Ben,
getting.
we
into
should
the
have a bet
playoffs.
on that, Ben. You and me should have a bet if they play each other in the
Ben already
playoffs.
has a bet. Just do the reverse.
I already have a bet. I already
Yes,
have.
do
Yeah,
the
you just
reverse.
need to get into more
Chris,
stuff. with
Chris,
that.
if Georgia loses to Penn State, then you have to do Ben's punishment.
No,
I'm not
I
gonna-
would
I'm
never.
not-
I would
I'm
never
not
do
going to
that.
bet Penn State to beat Georgia. I'm
They can
not.
get like an Eli jersey or something.
Georgia.
He's getting
We're
hurt.
playing. Yeah, we do got two hard games coming up though. After Florida, we have to play Ole Miss and Tennessee.
Penn State, Ohio State this weekend, noon Eastern.
Ohio
Saturday,
State's
big game.
owning you.
This is the year Penn
Owning
State
you.
beats Ohio State. I'm telling you, Ohio State.
Every
Dude,
year.
Ohio State is not that good
That's
this
like
year. Their
Georgia
quarterback is
beating
awful.
Alabama. It just
Yeah.
Marvin
doesn't
Harrison's
happen.
going back. I heard Marvin Harrison and CJ Stroud are playing that game.
It's
It
the
just
year.
doesn't happen.
They got
That's-
Zeke at running back
Don't
too. I think
happen.
that might cost them the game though.
Don't happen.
No,
you can't
wait.
beat Ohio State. Georgia can't beat Alabama. It's just the way
Did
the
I-
cookie crumbles.
Did I hear someone say it's prediction time?
Genty Heisman. Yeah,
Yo,
prediction
Gabe,
time.
Let's
heard
go.
that,
Let's
right?
go.
Gabe, you
I'm
heard that
hyped.
right? All right.
Prediction time.
The reason Ben is so hyped, we'll get into it, because NFL Week 8, we start things off. Of course, Chris, back to back to back, I think. You were first. No, Ben won Week 6. But back-to-back weeks, Chris came out on top. Chris, 12-5.
Get ready for this week. I
12
got
and 4.
something. I got something for you
12-4
this week.
from Chris. Best win for him. He didn't have any island picks this week. So, I mean, Eagles, Falcons. You didn't lose
Should
any
have
of like
picked the Commanders, man. Should have
Yeah,
picked
true.
Jay Daniels.
You only lost the consensus losses, which is crazy. So you got lucky. I'm going to skip over Ben because Ben has some big news. Me and Gabe both finished last, but we're 8-8, so we didn't lose. We didn't.
Oh,
go
okay.
on
I thought I had a much worse week than that, honestly.
No, we tied. So of course I picked the Giants, which was just a mistake because I mean it's Daniel Jones on primetime, and Gabe, you picked the Saints.
I had a bunch of.
You thought
I thought
Carr
Derek Carr
back?
was going to be back, honestly.
Yeah, he's coming back next week actually. So or this week, I guess. And now we get into Ben. The overall standings, Chris, 77-46. Gabe and me both tied at 72-51 for last place, which means
I
Ben
made it out.
has finally moved up in the standings. He is second
I dug out of
place.
my hole. I was what, 7 games back?
49.
He's so hype right now.
I was what,
Oh
7
my
games
goodness.
back?
The greatest
It's because he
comeback
stopped picking the Titans.
in history. I mean, realistically, yeah. Ben, you your worst loss was the Seahawks, which I mean, that's fair. I think it was a 50-50 game. But I mean, you won the Cardinals,
have
the
the
Falcons,
Bills that
the
game?
Eagles. You did have the Bills that game.
Yeah, I was the
So
only one that picked the Seahawks.
Ben, congratulations to I mean, like you've been surprising everyone coming back. So let's see if you can continue it this week. Which, Chris, what's the Thursday night game?
Texans, Jets.
Jets are favorites, by the way.
No, they're
Why?
not.
They
Yeah,
are.
they
They're
are.
minus
No,
130.
they're not.
They're the
minus
betting
130.
favorites. That's a fact.
How are
Why?
they
But
betting favorite?
Wait, I'm betting on Texans right
it's
now.
because
What?
it's because Houston doesn't have like any wide
Jake, you're
receivers,
not
but
old
it
enough
doesn't
to bet.
matter. It does not matter.
Jake's
bet
not old
I
enough
bet my
to bet.
house on Houston right now.
If I was a
In fact,
betting man and legally, if I could bet.
He's
Yeah.
gonna go bet on Fliff because Fliff allows you to bet underage
Yeah.
for virtual coins.
18
well,
plus. Yeah.
no,
for
no,
virtual
no.
points.
Jake would never do that. Jake.
No,
Jake
I would never do that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with the Texans.
Shocker.
yeah. I think we're all going Texans.
I think we are.
Yeah, it's the Texans.
Oh yeah.
Aaron Rodgers legacy game. Watch.
Consensus already, guys. Dang it. We first Sunday football game that comes up on my screen is the Saints Panthers.
Well, what a stinker.
Pick the Panthers then. I
Derek
dare
Carr's
you.
back. It might not be that bad.
Pick the
Yeah,
Panthers. Pick the Panthers, Ben.
Yeah,
I'm
go-
not
go
picking the Panthers.
Carolina.
I'm picking.
Let's go
I'm
for
picking
it.
the Saints. I'm picking the Saints.
I'm going Saints.
Thanks for me.
Yeah, it's another consensus. I mean,
Or
come on.
as they should be called. This season, the Aints.
Now,
The Aints. Get it? Because
yeah, you know what the next game is on my screen? Commanders Giants. I'm
Let's go
going Jaden
Giants.
Daniels. He finna eat up the Giants.
I'm actually cheering for the Giants, but there's no way you guys win. I'm going with
gonna
Why? We lost by
eat
3
the
last time.
Giants
without a kicker. I
alive.
think there's a very good possibility that we win this game.
Usually they split every year, and we were supposed to win last
yeah, but
game.
usually the Commanders aren't good.
That is, both of those are correct.
Jaden Daniels is gonna eat you guys
I
alive.
think Tyrone Tracy Jr. plays a big factor. He's
Tyrone
questionable
Tracy
right now
should
under
be the
concussion
clear
protocol.
starter here, going forwards.
Tyrone Tracy Jr. is unbelievable, and he is our starter, 100%. He controls the backfield now, but
Good.
he's under concussion protocol right now. He's questionable for the game.
He'll be good. He'll be good.
I
If
don't know.
anybody
It's a
should-
short week for him. Monday
If
to Sunday.
anybody who's
Neighbors just
not
have 2
good and
weeks
should figure it out should be ETN. ETN's
Yeah,
trash
true.
right now.
I mean, Neighbors took 2 weeks out of.
He did. He also attended a Travis
Jake,
Scott
does that
concert.
mean
So.
does that mean you're both picking Giants? Because Ben's
I'm
picking the
not.
Commanders.
Listen, I'm going Commanders, but I think that there is a.
Oh my
real
God, Jake's on an
possibility the
island.
Giants win
Jake
here.
never picks against
Wait,
the
wait,
Giants.
wait. I want everyone to know that when I filled the sheet out by myself this morning during class, I picked the Commanders. But
No, you didn't, liar.
I did actually.
He did. I
But
saw it. I can
halfway
prove.
through,
I could.
Did you
we
break
just
the
talked
streak?
about it. No, I forgot that we have the best defensive line in all football right now, and we lead the league in sacks. And Jaden Daniels, when he gets pressured, even though he looks good, when he gets pressured, the last time the Giants faced him, we didn't have a kicker, and
We did
Jaden
not.
Daniels did nothing.
And Malik
So-
Neighbors, if Malik Neighbors caught the ball in that last drive, we would have won the game.
And Malik Neighbors is playing. So honestly, we had Devin Singletary last time. He did fine. I think we win this game. I
We
really
have a
do.
better
I think
running
it's-
back if he plays. I
Exactly.
really do think this is a close
I
game.
hope you guys win. I hope you win. That would
Me
that
too.
would
For
help
the
us
Eagles'
a lot.
sake, honestly, I'm surprised you guys aren't picking the Giants just because it would help the Eagles.
I'm not.
For
I'm
the-
picking.
No,
I'm
I
picking
think
with
too.
my head. I'm picking with my head
Jake,
now.
for the sake of my record, I am
Picking
going
the
with
win.
Commanders, though, just to make
Okay.
Picking the win.
There's a reason
unfortunately.
why we're in
Jake's
first and
on an
second place.
island?
I am on an island, and this is why I have been losing lately because my island picks have not been working. But maybe
Well,
it
you
works
pick
this
the
time.
Giants every week, and it just that's like what, 6 losses?
Yeah, sucks.
Yep.
Dolphins, Bills. I'm taking the Bills.
All I'm gonna say is watch out for a Dolphins upset. I'm picking the
Ah,
Bills.
come on.
I believe
But
so
I
too.
do think there's a chance the Dolphins
not
could win in a
Ben.
shootout because both
Ben,
these
have you
defenses are
seen-
questionable. But
Have you
I'm
seen
picking the Bills.
Tua's record and his stats against Josh Allen? It's awful. He's the
Yeah.
worst quarterback in the league
Alright.
against Josh Allen.
Yeah, no, I'm not, dude. I'm not picking
And this
the
is in
Dolphins. I'm
Buffalo, right?
saying-
Isn't this one in Buffalo?
It
Yes,
is in
it's
Buffalo.
in Buffalo.
It's over. It's over.
I'm also taking
Miami's
Buffalo,
not
but I
good
do
in
agree with
Buffalo.
Ben. This could be a Miami win in the shootout.
No, Miami's
It's a-
not good in Buffalo.
It's a consensus Bills pick because I mean Tua, if he can't do good against the Bills at home, he's gonna do even worse
Listen,
away.
Miami playing in the heat versus Miami playing in the dead cold is a big difference. They're not good in Buffalo. Next game, I think is gonna be a toss-up between the four of us. Chargers, Browns.
I was looking at that one.
I'm gonna go.
Jake's covering his mouth. He doesn't know what to say.
I already got my
Yeah.
pick, bro.
This is a difficult one because I think Justin Herbert has been figuring himself out, and the Chargers are kind of
Him and the
transitioning
Lab
to more of a-
McConkey connection's been nice.
The Chargers have been transitioning to more of a pass first offense, which is not what
Gus
was.
Edwards is hurt again, and
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins is not
So-
hurt again.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers solely for the fact that I think their defense is not gonna implode like the Ravens defense did. And I think people aren't going to be as surprised. They now have tape on Jameis Winston, and my boy Cedric Tillman. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers and play it safe here.
Okay. Gabe?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Chargers. But do you really need tape for James Winston? I think you kind of know what's gonna happen.
All right,
It's gonna be
Jake.
pure chaos.
I think that the Browns ride the momentum after beating the Ravens, and I think they go against Los Angeles. They're home this week as well, the Browns. So I think if they continue,
Will they
this
be at
momentum-
home either way?
I'm gonna
Yeah,
go.
I see the joke. I see the joke.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm gonna go with Cleveland because I just think they have the momentum there.
I'm gonna go with Cleveland as well.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with Cleveland.
Interesting split. Usually when me and
Okay.
Chris split, we usually win too. So
You all know how this goes. I'm last on this pick. I'm last.
This. Oh, you already know which game I'm looking at. Then the next game that I have up on here is the Patriots and Titans.
What woof?
Now,
what a
now
terrible
listen.
game.
I'll start. I'm picking the Titans, even though if what I said earlier, if this guy doesn't get moved, or if Max Crosby doesn't get moved, Jeffrey Simmons is gonna get moved to the Eagles. So take your pick, because the Eagles seem to trade with the Titans every year and steal one of their best players. So I'm still gonna pick the Titans though in this
That's
game.
kind of true.
That's
Yeah.
tough. Do we have an update on Drake May? Is he playing? Is he not playing?
No, I don't think
No,
he's
he's not
playing.
playing.
So
that
Jake, take it away,
Jacoby
Jake.
Brissett?
Give me a second.
Jacoby
you need to
Brissett
set-
is playing.
I just think the Patriots are almost a lock to get the number one pick this year. Besides, it's either them or the Panthers. And I think the Panthers have a better team to sneak
Well,
away.
no, don't the Patriots have the same amount of wins as Cleveland as well.
Oh, I forgot they beat. Oh my God, they beat the Jets. I forgot. I just
Mhm.
wiped that
They
from my
did
memory because I
somehow.
forgot Aaron Rodgers lost to the
Like
Patriots.
I said, I'm gonna go with the Titans here though. The Patriots are gonna take another
I'm still going
loss.
to go with the Titans because they're the better team. But does Mason Rudolph play or does Will Levis play? I forget. who played
Will
last.
Levis, I think, is posed to play, and the Titans
don't
are
know.
one. The
Both-
Titans have
both-
less wins than the Patriots, so I think they're due
We don't
for
know
a
the
win.
starting quarterback for
They're
both
1-6.
teams heading into this game, which is kind of scary and hard to predict.
The Titans are
Yeah,
1-6.
I just think the Titans have a better team on paper, so I'm going the Titans.
I'm also gonna go Titans. Is this gonna make it a Titans consensus?
That's crazy if that happened.
I thought I was going to be a unique picking the Titans, but now because you guys all picked the Titans, I kind of want to pick the Patriots.
No,
so I'm
you gotta
picking the
stick to Will
Patriots.
Levis.
Oh, the hate.
I'm
The
picking-
hate pick.
I'm picking the Patriots.
All right.
Don't
I
see
just
different
think
guys.
the Patriots, although Gerard Mayo has gotten a bunch of flack, I think they're better coached as of now. I like Brian Callahan, but I just don't think he's figured himself out yet.
He
And
also doesn't have a team. I mean,
And-
DeAndre,
and
he just never-
also-
DeAndre Hopkins.
Calvin Ridley is also questionable. If he doesn't play, they don't have any weapons at all.
Yeah,
What do you
huh?
mean? Traylon Burks.
Nicholas Westbrook Akine.
Akini, yeah. And also,
Akini.
Traylon Burks, the guy that can replace AJ Brown, the guy that they chose over AJ Brown, the guy that was going to become the next AJ Brown.
Yeah, because they don't have Austin Hooper no more, right? I think he
I don't even
left.
know where he is. I think
Tony
Hooper's
Pollard will do well.
I think Hooper's actually with the Patriots.
Yeah, I think he is too.
Moving
hopping-
on.
No,
The
he's with
next
the
game-
wait, he is with-
Oh, he's getting a revenge game against the Patriots. The next game that I got up on here is the Cowboys and Falcons. And I guess I'll start off again. This will be the game that McCarthy gets fired. I'm
Ooh.
taking the Falcons. They're gonna beat up on Dallas, and I think he gets fired this week.
I think this is going to be a shootout. Both these defenses have been awful in recent weeks.
Yes, but
Uh,
that's why Judon's due for a game. Judon's been
Is Michael
awful.
Parsons playing again? Is he back?
No,
I believe is he not back? I thought he was coming back this week.
no.
Honestly, it doesn't change my pick. I'm still going with the Falcons.
Yeah, it
either
doesn't
way.
change my pick, but let me look real quick.
I don't
Yeah,
think
please
he's.
do. Gabe, what do you think?
poised-
Well,
I don't
that's
think he's. I don't think he's projected to be in.
I'm going Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think this might be a consensus.
Ben,
I don't
what's
think
your
he's.
best part of this
I don't
game?
think he's projected to be in, Ben, at all, Micah.
Deron Bland was activated off IR though, so that
That doesn't
should
matter. He sucks.
be yeah. like I said, I think it's going to be a high scoring game.
I don't
I
think
am gonna
Deron Bland sucks, but he hasn't played. So
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think Mike McCarthy gets fired yet, but
I do.
I do think moving forward, I mean, you look at their schedule. After this week, they play the Eagles. I think when they lose to the Eagles, then he gets fired. But anyway,
All right.
uh,
You picked the Falcons as well, so we have a consensus there. Next game up, I have the Raiders Bengals. The Bengals had a really rough start to the year, and they're trying to fix that record up. So I'm going with the Bengals. They're 3-5. I don't think they lose the Raiders
yeah,
again.
I think the
I don't think
Bengals.
they lose back-to-back weeks again
I know
either.
the Raiders looked okay last week, and the Bengals looked awful, but I think that the Bengals offense is way better than the Raiders can
And T.
handle.
Higgins might be back.
T. Higgins might be
Might.
back. I really hope he is for fantasy purposes, but yeah.
I'm going Cincinnati here.
Yeah, consensus. It's going to be the Bengals.
This next game, I think, is going to wind up being a consensus too. Broncos Ravens. The Ravens took a beat down last
Both
week.
these teams have the same record. They both
I
have
don't
the
think
same
the
record.
Ravens. Yeah, but I don't think the Ravens take another beat down. No way.
The Broncos
No
are
way.
such an underrated team, though.
They're very
They've been
underrated.
good.
Riley
They've
Moss
been
has been
I just feel
amazing.
like the
Sertain's
Bo
been
Nix
good.
really
The
Bo
Broncos
Nix has
haven't
been
played
good.
anybody though, really. That's my thing with them.
Yeah, their defense is great, and also Bo Nix is like a top 10 fantasy quarterback right now, which is crazy because he doesn't turn the ball over.
Give me Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Here's the thing, though. They haven't really beaten anybody. Except Tampa Bay week 3. That was their only really impressive win. Outside of that, they beat the Jets by 1. They beat the Raiders. They
Yeah, they're
beat the
not
Saints
winning by a
without Derek
lot.
Carr, and then they beat Carolina. Now, they've won who they're supposed to beat, which is, you can say that's fair. I think they're going to fall off. Don't think I honestly could see them finishing with a below 500 record. I'm going to go with the Ravens. The Ravens are just a weird team, but I think they're really good. I think Derrick Henry could have an insane monster game. I'm going to predict 2 touchdowns for Derrick Henry this week.
You do. Need him on a fantasy
Yeah.
team. Oh, wait. No, you also have him on your fantasy team. Oh, this is weird now.
I have him on both my fantasy teams.
That's rough for me. So who are you going with, the Ravens?
Yeah, Ravens.
Both you guys? Okay, it's another consensus. I think the Broncos, unfortunately, are facing a very pissed off Baltimore because they lost to the Browns, and I think the Ravens are going to beat the absolute living crap out of them.
This next game's difficult. This next game,
I have the Bears. I have the Bears Cardinals. I'm taking the Cardinals again.
Ooh. Now, the one thing I want to say about this game before Ben picks, I feel like the Cardinals have been really good to Ben. I feel like Ben usually picks the Cardinals. So, Ben, I'm curious to
I feel like they haven't been good. I feel like when I pick them, they've lost, and when I pick them to lose, they've won. I feel like they're my voodoo team.
You've beat them. You've picked them a couple times.
Yeah, I don't know. Me and the Cardinals are so weird. They're so up and down. They're so random week to week. They're so hard. Like
Ben, I will say Call of Duty did come out, and the game is very fun. So if that changes your pick,
but he had one of the best games of his career last week when it came out. I'm just saying.
True.
I was very impressed by that. Honestly, it was really funny about how many professional reporters were talking about that.
He took the dub and said, "I'm going home to play COD."
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals though. I think I really like the Bears, but I think they have some really big locker room issues right now. Matt Eberflus has lost. There's players coming out straight and saying Matt Eberflus has made mistakes and they don't like his coaching. I think that's a dangerous game to play. I think he's a bad coach, but when players are coming out publicly and saying that, it's very scary. So I'm gonna go with the
Cardinals. The Cardinals are home. I just realized.
Yeah, I'm going with the Cardinals. I'm going with the Cardinals.
All right, this will not be a consensus. I'm going Chicago. I just think that they're the better team. I think that Caleb Williams is not consistent at all, but I think he can do the bare minimum.
This one's gonna bite you, Gabe.
Is it?
This one's gonna bite you, dude.
I'm not too confident. I like this pick.
Because Gabe, I'm actually gonna agree with you. I don't think the Cardinals are a good team. Their defense is trash, and the Bears struggled against the Commanders' defense, but the Commanders' defense isn't awful. But the Cardinals' defense is awful. So I just think the Bears win this game pretty easily.
Have fun with that one. Next up, I got the Eagles Jaguars, and this might be one of the first times we see Jake pick the Eagles this year. I'm going with the Birds,
Dude,
obviously.
I have a really weird feeling about this game. I think it's going to be the Eagles, but I don't know. I feel like Doug Peterson is going to be really, really like trying his
Does
best, coming out
does
with the
Doug
craziest stuff to
Peterson
beat the Eagles. But
does
I
Doug
think the Eagles are
Peterson
going to win.
get
Yeah, I
booed or
don't
does he?
think you should overthink this, Ben. I think this is an Eagles
Oh,
win.
I'm not overthinking.
This
But I
is
think I think it's going to be a weird game. I think some weird stuff is going to happen. That's all I'm
For
saying.
yeah.
the Eagles fans, does Doug Peterson get booed or cheered?
Cheered. He should.
Cheered.
He
Really?
should.
Okay.
This is Hitler versus Stalin for Jake right now. What's
Yeah.
he gonna do?
And me. Yeah, it's rough. Gabe, I want to hear it.
Oh, I went Philly. I
Yeah.
just think this is. I don't overthink this. I think this is an easy win for them.
Here's the thing. I usually hate pick the Eagles every week, but also I felt like the Eagles had a chance to lose almost every game that they've played so far, which I think is fair because they're not like a juggernaut or anything this season. But I just, when it comes to like a 50-50, I always go to the other team. This is like a 100-0. Trevor Lawrence, you suck. And I just don't think you'll ever beat a team that is above 500. And I think the Eagles whoop the Jaguars. They just absolutely keep beating them and beating them and beating them.
Fair.
Consensus Eagles. Wow.
All
First
right,
time we can
next
ever say
up,
that.
we have the Rams and the Seahawks.
This should also be consensus.
Yeah, I think it
Take
will
your
be.
picks, fellas.
This should be a great game. This should be game of the week.
Take your picks, fellas.
I think the Rams are going to cook them, honestly. I think Sean McVay got his toys back. Sean McVay is arguably the best coach in the league, in my opinion. He's
also
best
still
coach in the league.
the third youngest in the league, the fourth youngest.
Yeah.
He's still
And the
top
Hey,
five.
Rams-
Jake.
The Rams survived the injuries. They're 3-4. They're one game back of the division. So
Make it
they're
to
still
playoff.
fighting for a division. This is the really important
Jake,
divisional
Gabe?
game. I love Rams.
I don't see why people thought they were going to trade Cooper Kupp. I know they were like 2 games back, but at the same time, they didn't have Cooper Kupp, and they're not going to trade. I mean, even Sean McVay came out and said, yeah, you guys are funny that you thought we were going to trade him because he's their best player, and also they're a good team. I think the Rams do win this one, but I don't think it's going to be a consensus. I think the Seahawks are a good team. I just think the Rams are a better team.
Gabe.
I don't think the Seahawks are good, to be honest.
I don't get the hype behind Seattle. Like I really just don't. Like I watched the
defense is good.
the Giants Seahawks game, and I was like, this team is okay, but like they weren't great.
Chris, are you on an island?
I think the Rams kind of. I think this is still a somewhat close game potentially, but I think the Rams just have the better weapons and they're the better team.
Seattle's a good team. Seattle's a good team. I've never had a problem with Seattle besides when Jadeveon Clowney injured Carson Wentz. That aside, I like DK
What about
Metcalf
Aaron
and all.
Donald?
What?
What about when Aaron Donald injured him?
Aaron Donald, I literally own a jersey of.
But he did injure
The Aaron
Carson
Donald
Wentz.
one was not a dirty play, though.
And it wasn't-
Jadeveon Clowney
that's
one
true.
was a
That's true as
super
well.
dirty play.
And to throw that out there, obviously I'm picking the Rams. I didn't think this was going to be a consensus at all. I thought the three of you were going to pick Seattle, and I was going to be saying that
Really?
myself.
Why?
Because Seattle's a good team.
I don't
Geno
think
Smith's
Seattle's
leading
good.
the league in
I really
passing
don't think
yards.
they're good. I really don't think they're good.
Geno Smith leads the league in passing yards right now, and DK
That's the
Metcalf's been
league.
good.
The two most overrated teams
Jackson
in the league
Smith
right
and
now,
Najigba's been good. Their whole team's been pretty
I
decent.
think-
Byron Murphy's been great this year.
I think the two most overrated teams right now, in my opinion, are the Seahawks.
Vikings?
Number one by far and away is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers fans
what?
need to quiet down, bro. They need to
Yeah,
quiet down.
I mean, the Chiefs are. I don't
They've
think the
beaten
Chiefs
nobody. They've beaten nobody. They're not
All
good.
right. Well, next up, we have a divisional game. Lions-Packers. I'm taking the Lions.
Dude. I
Lions
think
are
this
the
is
best
going to
team
end
in
up being
football.
a consensus. I think Jordan Love's injury, I think he's going to play this week. It puts into question. But man, this Lions team is really good.
They'll
Even though
wind up playing Jordan Love because of how competitive their division is
Yeah,
this year. And if they want a shot at the playoffs, he's going to
I
wind up
really
playing.
want to pick the Packers just to
I'm picking
be on
Detroit,
an
though.
island, but I'm gonna
Detroit's
pick
the best.
Lions.
Detroit's the best team in football.
Here's the thing about Detroit. They already had their bye week. They had the same bye week as the Eagles. I don't think because of how good they've been and they just completely destroyed the Titans, who aren't even like an NFL roster, because the Rams proved, or not the Rams, the Lions proved that the Titans should not be in the NFL anymore because they should be demoted to the AFL or the XFL, or whatever it's called now. I think the Lions don't lose another game, and I say that with my full
Ooh.
confidence. defense. I literally don't think they lose another game.
I don't know.
Meanwhile, Jake gave me Amon-Ra and David Montgomery in fantasy football.
You gave me AJ Brown, and I think he's better than Amon-Ra.
Well, you're talking
Alright.
to two Eagles fans, so they're not gonna say anything there.
I won't say nothing there.
I
we
think
doing
Detroit
here?
wins this. I've been high on the Packers all year, but the Lions are just a
The thing
different
is,
beast.
I agree with Ben. I don't think there should be a consensus only because the Packers are good, but the Lions are just better.
All right, Lions. So Lions for me. Ben, you said Lions. Jake said
All
Lions.
Consensus
Okay,
Lions.
all Lions. And Colts, Vikings, I'm taking the Vikings. Richardson got benched. I don't know how Flacco is going to play against the defense that's been great all year. I'm taking the Vikings.
I'll tell you.
Does
I'll tell you how
this
he's going to
negatively
play.
affect them then, Chris? You think Anthony Richardson is a better quarterback in this situation than Joe Flacco?
Yeah, Chris. I'll tell you how
No,
Flacco's
because
play.
of the way Flacco's been playing in recent memory, but Richardson, his first few games coming into the league looked amazing.
He just needs to. Honestly, Richardson is a project, and he's still a project because he barely plays. So he just needs to take a step back, take a breather, and then he's going to come back probably an MVP candidate. So I think in this game,
I'm going Vikings.
I think the Vikings win, but I think the biggest upset chance of the week happens in this game. I think the Colts could beat the Vikings.
Absolutely.
And that upset chance, I'm going to take that upset chance. Look, I think this Colts locker room has been, pardon my French, fiending for Joe Flacco to become the starting quarterback. I really truly think that this team could turn a corner. They're a 500 team. It kind of feels like the Colts are always a 500 team every year. They always feel like they're mid. They're never good. They're never bad. They sometimes make the playoffs. They sometimes don't. But you look at this team, it's simple. Give the ball to Jonathan Taylor and run some play action. You got Alec Pierce, take some deep shots to him. Check it down to Michael Pittman when you can. Josh Downs is a solid receiver. They have good receivers. Their defense has been really questionable, in my opinion. They don't really have any pass rushers outside of like DeForest Buckner inside. Latu has been meh. He only has 2 sacks. But you win by controlling the clock, and I think the Colts can look to control the clock in this game. I'm not gonna say like I'm not gonna pound my fist and say this is 100% happening, but I think if there's an upset to pick this week, and I want to pick an upset every week, I'm gonna pick the Colts.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I definitely don't mind that, but I'm going Minnesota. I think this is a close game though, potentially, and I personally could not be happier about the benching of Anthony Richardson. I have Michael Pittman in my one fantasy league that I'm in outside of the Fan Frenzy Pod one, and within I don't know a few hours of the announcement getting made, I already have Ben offering me a starting running back for him, which I did decline. I did not want Javonte Williams for Michael Pittman, but. I mean, listen, that just boosted his value so much. I mean, you have stability at the quarterback position right now that you didn't have last week. Give me Minnesota, though. I still like Minnesota.
Minnesota all the way.
Last game that I have is the Monday night game in the Chiefs and Buccaneers, and
this could have been such a good game.
It really could have, yeah.
It really would have been a great game with Godwin and Evans playing.
It still is a good game. Kate Otton's about to go off.
I'm gonna pick the Chiefs.
I think Travis Kelce is turning his season around. Best game of his season last week. I think he's going to continue that against a pretty questionable defense.
You think he'll get 4 tutties?
I don't think he'll get 4 tutties, but I could see him getting multiple touchdowns. And I think the Chiefs remain one of the most fraudulent 8-0 teams of all time. I don't think the Chiefs are that good. I think the Chiefs are not making the Super Bowl this year. I'm calling it right now. And I'm also going to say that Patrick Mahomes, I mean, there's no way this is a crazy take that Patrick Mahomes has not been anywhere near a top 10 quarterback this season.
He also doesn't have any other receivers. Bob, that's not
I
like
get it, but he's thrown 9 picks. Like, that doesn't excuse.
Yeah.
He's got D-Hop
He has
now.
not been good. And usually he's never really had, like, last season he didn't have any, like, elite receivers. Obviously, he had Rashee Rice, who has been a big loss, but you still have Travis Kelce.
Well,
but yeah,
he took out Rashee Rice, so it's kind of on him.
Yeah, it is kind of on him. But I mean, you look at the Chiefs' schedule moving forward; they could remain undefeated for a minute. They play Buffalo in 2 weeks. That'll be an interesting game. But yeah,
You brought up Travis Kelce there. Let's talk about Mark Andrews while we're on the tight end I guess we're talking about the Chiefs here, but is he coming back now? Is Mark Andrews officially back?
I hope so. I need him. I didn't drop him for a reason. But Gabe, what are you picking?
They're gonna be 8-0. Like there's just I don't think there's any way around this, honestly, as unfortunate as it is. They're 8-0, but I think everybody does know while that 8-0 record is a little interesting, everybody knows that they elevate their play during the playoffs. And I think that I don't know if they make the Super Bowl or not, but I know that they're a lot more scary to play in the playoffs when Arrowhead is always crazy, but when it reaches that next level of noise.
So you're going with the Chiefs?
I'm going with the Chiefs.
I can't believe you guys are all predicting it. I thought this was going to be a consensus for the Bucks because if I'm being honest, the Chiefs, I even said it like 2 weeks ago, they're going to eventually lose, but not yet and not last week because they face two teams that I think they are better than. But it's like, I know Patrick Mahomes is amazing on primetime, but like Ben said, Mahomes has been throwing picks. And the guy he's facing has also been throwing picks, but he's also been throwing the most touchdowns in the league. Baker Mayfield, even without Mike Evans and without Chris Godwin, looked like he could still score last week against the Falcons. Kate Otten went off. And I think their running backs hopefully can take a step up. And I think Jalen McMillan has a chance to take a step up too. So, and Sterling Shepard's probably going to be there. So,
Sterling Shepard, wow.
Right,
he has a touchdown this year.
Jalen
he has a
McMillan.
touchdown this year.
He does.
So, if I'm being honest, I can't believe you guys have all picked the Chiefs. I'm going with the Bucks here. I think they finally end the Chiefs' undefeated streak.
All right.
Would be
I guess we'll have to find out on that. And before we end our episode, I just want to say Lonnie Walker signed with the Euro League.
Dang it! I wanted him to come to the Sixers. No, I'm just kidding.
Which is kind of funny because he did average 10 points over 6 seasons straight.
Can I just say one thing before we hop off? Just a personal thing for me.
Go for it.
So this is going to be the last time you guys see this beard. The beard is coming off. I'm doing a fundraiser yet again for Movember for men's mental health awareness. So follow my social medias. I'll be posting a link for that. But I will have a mustache on the next episode. Don't know how it's gonna look. I'm gonna miss the beard. I really like the beard. I've been having fun with it, but Friday morning, I guess the beard will be coming off. You'll see it on my social media. I'm gonna be posting.
Gabe looks like he's about to cry.
Yeah,
but
I'm devastated.
My goal is to
try all the time, and it's not going to be fun anymore if he doesn't.
My goal is to try and raise $100. I don't know if I can do that, but I'm going to try my best. I'm going to donate some money myself because men's mental health awareness is really important. I'm sure to all of us. So,
yeah, especially for Jake right now because of the World Series.
Guys,
just pray for Jake that nothing bad happens.
I might have to top out. I actually
pray that nothing bad happens because we still need Jake. He's still our fourth guy in here. Like he's still co-host. Like we still need him.
Wait for Elijah. Elijah will take over.
So just pray for that.
We got a replacement if need be.
Hopefully we can get back into our groove too, getting back into the studio and filming some more clips. Jake's gonna start sending up some clips on the Instagram. I got a new series. I got a new clip series that I'll be starting too that I think is gonna be a lot of fun. So you'll just have to wait and find out for that. Go check out all the articles I've been producing too on the website. Hence to the Feta Top one that I just dropped. I'm gonna wind up dropping an Ilya. Unfortunately, I'm gonna wind up dropping an Ilya Taporia article.
No,
et cetera.
I'm taking that down, Chris. I'm taking that down.
You don't have access to take it off the website.
Is better than Ilya. Just please.
You don't have access to take it off the website.
That's brutal.
That'll be it for today.
Talk about Shara Magomedov.
That's a good one to talk about too. But that'll be it for today, especially because Jake has to go to Temple Update and he's running late. So stay hyped, stay hungry, keep the frenzy alive. We'll see you on the next one.